Harshavardhan from the Rajya Sabha chamber. Aisa, so that camera will catch you.
Pardon, sir?
When you speak, say Dr. Harshavardhan from the Rajya Sabha chamber, so that the camera can catch you and then show it to the people. Okay, please.
Dr. Harshvardhan from the Rajya Sabha chamber.
Yes.
Respected sir, I rise to move that in pursuance of clause G of section 4, read with subsection 1 of section 6 of the All India Institute of Medical Sciences Act 1956, 25 of 1956 as amended in 2012, this House do proceed to elect in such manner as the chairman may direct one member from amongst the members of the House to be a member of the All India Institute of Medical Sciences, AIIMS, New Delhi.
Motion moved. Those in favor raise their hands and say aye. Aye. Those against will please raise their hands and say no. I think the ayes have it, the ayes have it, the ayes have it, the motion is adopted. Motion for the election to the Committee on Official Language. Sri Nityananda Roy to move a motion.
महोदय, मैं राज्यसभा से बोल रहा हूं। महोदय, माननीय गृह मंत्री जी की ओर से प्रस्ताव करता हूं कि राजभाषा अधिनियम 1963 का 19 की धारा 4 की उपधारा 2 के अनुसरण में यह सभा एकल संक्रमणीय मत प्रणाली द्वारा अनुपातिक प्रतिनिधित्व पद्धति के अनुसार सभा के सदस्यों में से एक सदस्य को राजभाषा समिति का सदस्य होने के लिए निर्वाचित करने की कार्यवाही करें।
Motion moved. Those in favor please raise their hands and say aye. Aye. Those against will please raise their hands and say no. I think the ayes have it, the ayes have it, the ayes have it. The motion is adopted. Now, zero our submissions. Sri V. Vijay Sai Reddy, I have a suggestion. Each member please confine to 2 minutes so that I can give some more. Today demand is more. मैंने दे रहा हूं ना, 3 मिनट बोलो फिर 10 लोग ही बोल पाएंगे। ठीक है, चलिए, मुझे आपत्ति नहीं, आप बोलना नहीं है। आप अभी क्या बोलना है जी, आपको समय दिया नहीं, जब मिलेगा तब बोलिए, 3 मिनट ही बोलिए। मैंने सोचा कि बाकी लोगों को भी मौका मिलेगा, सुझाव था, आप सुझाव के लिए तैयार नहीं, बस 10 लोग ही होगा बस। विजय सारी मुझे क्या प्रॉब्लम।
थैंक यू चेयरमैन सर। Sir, Polavaram project is a lifeline for Andhra Pradesh state, sir. It is a project that has been taken up by the central government, and the central government has to bear the entire expenditure of the project cost, sir. In fact, government of Andhra Pradesh has fixed a target of completion by December 2021, sir. Since it is a national project, all the funds have to be released by the central government, and to quicken the process, the government of Andhra Pradesh, without even waiting for the central government to release the money, it has started spending the amount. The outstanding amount as on today to be released to government of Andhra Pradesh is 3,805 crores, sir. And as asked by the government of India, the CAG, Controller and Auditor General, has also audited the figures, and then it has confirmed that the amount of 3,805 crores is due to the government of Andhra Pradesh, sir. Honorable CM of Andhra Pradesh, Shri Jagan Mohan Reddy Garu, has written a letter to the Honorable Prime Minister explaining the details of the problems that are being faced by the state, particularly economic crisis after bifurcation, particularly in the pandemic of COVID. Finding it extremely difficult to further spend money on the Polavaram project, and requested for immediate release of the funds of 3,805 crores, sir. Honorable CM of AP has also given the plans as to how the funds could be released for hassle-free release to avoid the possible delays, sir. In the light of the above, I request the Honorable Minister, Jal Shakti Minister, to immediately take measures to release the funds for the Polavaram project, so that it could be completed by the target date of December 2021, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Associate. If you want, please, quickly. You're more than happy.
Sir, the honorable member has raised a very important issue, and it definitely matters in the interest of the national infrastructure projects also, because that being a national project. The discussion with the finance minister of Andhra Pradesh has been going on. I am also in touch with the water resources minister so that we can get this cleared at the earliest, because there was this gap because of the CAG certification, which Andhra Pradesh has apparently given. We'll follow it up, sir. So
Good,
it is
good.
not something.
Sri Dr. Vikas Mahatme and to Associate K.C. Ramurthy.
राज्य सभा गैलरी वन सर
Please.
सर मैं एक महत्वपूर्ण विषय पर बोलने वाला हूँ। हाल ही में एक वेब सीरीज वर्जिन भास्कर करके रिलीज हुई थी और उसमें हमारे पुण्यश्लोक अहिल्या देवी होलकर जी का लिए अपमानित दृश्य और आवाज था, तो जिससे बहुत ही गुस्सा हुआ है सभी शेफर्ड कम्युनिटी, खासतौर पर गडलिया, पाल, बघेल, मारवाड़, रब्बारी, गायरी, कुरमा, कुरुम्बा, ये सभी कम्युनिटीज इनको श्रद्धा स्थान मानते हैं और बाकी भी समाज इनके तरफ आदर से देखता है, पुण्यश्लोक अहिल्या देवी होलकर के तरफ। लेकिन इसमें जो अपमानित किया गया था इसलिए बहुत गुस्सा हुआ, रोष हुआ था और इसके लिए इस जो वेब सीरीज में से ये निकालने के लिए हमारे मंत्री जी जावड़ेकर जी ने वैसे मदद करने की वजह से वो निकाला गया। लेकिन हमें नाटक या ड्रामा भी प्रस्तुत करना है तो एक सर्टिफिकेट लगता है, सेंसर बोर्ड का अथॉरिटी लगती है, लेकिन वेब सीरीज में गाली गलौच रहती है, सेक्स स्कैंडल्स दिखाते हैं, न्यूड सीन्स दिखाते हैं और फिर भी उसके ऊपर कोई भी सर्टिफिकेशन या लीगल एक्शन ली नहीं जाती। तो मेरा ये कहना है माननीय मंत्री जी से कि वह कोई कानून लाए जिसकी वजह से ये वेब सीरीज पे प्रतिबंधन लगाया जाए ताकि भारतीय संस्कृति का।
K.C. Ramurthy to associate. Right. Very important issue, but there is no law as on now I am told, but it has to be examined. श्रीमती छाया वर्मा, छाया जी कहाँ?
श्रीमती छाया वर्मा, लोकसभा गैलरी से बोल रही हूँ। गैलरी नहीं, लोकसभा से बोल रही हूँ राज्यसभा की सदस्य।
बोलिए।
सर, आपकी अनुमति से मैं मनरेगा मजदूर के बारे में बोलना चाहती हूँ। पिछले दिनों लॉकडाउन की वजह से मजदूरों के बीच बहुत बड़ी विपत्ति आई, बहुत समस्या हुई और मनरेगा का काम केवल 100 दिन का चलता है। आपकी अनुमति से मैं चाहती हूं कि मनरेगा का काम पूरे भारतवर्ष में 200 दिन का चले और समय पे उनको मजदूरी मिले और कार्यमूलक योजना हो, ये मैं चाहती हूं। धन्यवाद सर।
धन्यवाद। सदस्य कहीं भी बैठने के लिए मैंने अनुमति दिया, मगर आपका डी प्रमोशन माने लोअर हाउस में भेजने का निर्णय गुलाम नबी आजाद जी ने और आनंद शर्मा जी ने और रमेश जी ने मिलकर किया। मैं जिम्मेदार नहीं हूँ उसके लिए। श्री K.R. Suresh Reddy. K.R. Suresh Reddy, please. Say, I am K.R. Suresh Reddy from the Rajya Sabha chamber.
Yes, sir. I am K.R. Suresh Reddy from Rajya Sabha chambers, right in front of your watchful eyes, sir. Sir, I want to raise a urgent matter of public importance, which is agitating the people of Telangana state. Telangana state was created through Andhra Pradesh Reorganization Act 2014. After formation of these two states, dispute has arisen between Telangana and Andhra over sharing of Krishna River waters. There are 4 riparian states, namely Maharashtra, Karnataka, Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. And to resolve the matter, there is a specific act, namely the Interstate River Water Disputes Act, which we call it the ISWR Act. Accordingly, our Chief Minister of Telangana has written to refer the matter under Section 3 of the Interstate Water Disputes Act and requested the Government of India, Ministry of Jal Shakti, to refer the dispute for constitution of a tribunal under Section 5(1) of the said Act, sir. In spite of the repeated letters by the Honorable Chief Minister of Telangana, Shri Chandrasekhar Rao ji, to the Honorable Prime Minister, to Honorable Ministers, the central government officials, to kindly refer the dispute for adjudication under Section 3, the central government instead extended the term of Brijesh Kumar Tribunal and referred the matter under Section 89 of the AP Reorganization Act, which has a very limited scope and will not be able to do justice to the people of Telangana, sir. Therefore, our party requests, demands and urges upon the Honorable Prime Minister, the Honorable Minister of Jal Shakti, to refer the sharing of water immediately to a tribunal under Section 3 and 5 of the Interstate River Water Dispute, sir.
Thank
We
you.
demand a statement from the Honorable Minister on this issue. As it is said, sir, if data is the new oil, then water is the new gold. Throughout the Telangana agitation, the demand for the state was due, one of the main reasons was water sharing, sir.
Right.
So it's been, I'm just completing, it's been 6 years since we have returned, and we have very good relationship with our neighboring states. We always said that let's separate as a region, let's live as brothers and sisters, which we are continuing to do, sir. So I request the Government of India, in the spirit today being a democratic, world democracy
Right.
day, in the spirit
Three.
of federal
Thank you, Suresh
democracy,
Reddy garu.
to kindly
Thank you.
resolve the matter, sir. Thank you.
PM Shanmugam ji, Inge.
From Lok Sabha,
Lok Sabha.
Pradhan Mantri Kisan
Sure.
Samman Nidhi scheme, farmers are paid a grant of rupees 6,000 every year in the equal
Lok Sabha,
increment of 2,000 every 4 months. However, these grants are provided the farmers who own less than the 5 acres of land. The tenant farmers, leaseholders farmers who had less than the 5 acres of land, who are languishing and abject poverty, are excluded from this scheme. There are many states which have registered tenant farmers in that state are providing benefits of the farmers, including tenant farmers. For example, there have been provided loan eligibility cards in permitted cultivation of land. There is a provision of claim damages to crops to provide social security and prevent the incidents of suicide. The Tamil Nadu, especially Kaveri Delta region, most of the tenant farmers are growing paddy, and it is very risky cultivation. As a social security measure, the benefit of PM Kisan should be extended to all the farmers. Therefore, I would urge upon the Honorable Prime Minister and the Honorable Agriculture Minister to include the tenant farmers and the leaseholders farmers, as although in the PM Kisan scheme, as they hold the land for a long tenure of years, they should also be taken care of by the central government if they claim that they are bringing welfare schemes for the farmers. Thank you, sir.
थैंक यू। तो शोणमुख जी का सुझाव ये है कि ये पीएम किसान योजना के अंतर्गत ये टेनेंसी किसान को भी लाना चाहिए। एसोसिएट विल्सन, श्रीमती जया बच्चन।
Thank you, sir. Sir, I want to talk about...
मास्क।
Sir, आवाज नहीं आएगी, क्लियर नहीं आएगी, मैं साफ कर दूंगी।
ठीक है, वो नहीं आ पा रही, कुछ
सर,
प्रॉब्लम
मेरा
है।
नाम जया बच्चन है, मैं राज्यसभा से बोल रही हूँ। सर, मैं आज
इतना बढ़िया पर्सनालिटी, सुंदर पर्सनालिटी दिख रही है, तो क्या नाम का क्या नाम पूरा देश में फेम है।
सर, बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया आपने जो कहा, मगर यही नाम जिसको डिफेम करने में आज लोग लगे हुए हैं, उसके बारे में चर्चा करना चाहती हूँ। सर, मेरा कहना ये है, एंटरटेनमेंट इंडस्ट्री इन आवर कंट्री which provides direct employment every day to 5 lakh people and indirect employment to 5 million people. At a time when the financial situation is in a depressing state and employment is at the worst level, in order to divert the attention of the people, we are being used to be flogged by the social media and the government's non-support. Sir, people who have made their name in this film industry have called it a gutter. I completely disagree, and I really disassociate, and I hope the government tells these people who have made their earning, name and fame in this industry to stop using such language. There are people in the entertainment industry who are some of the highest taxpayers. They are still being harassed. All kinds of promises are being made to entertainment industry, but never ever kept. Sir, I get very worked up and very emotional. I have too many things to say, but you're not giving me enough time and opportunity to speak. Sir, I think the government must stand by the entertainment industry, because the entertainment industry always comes forward to help the government in whatever good work that the government takes up. They come and speak for them, they support them. If there is a national calamity, they come forward, they give money, they give their services. I think that it is very, very important that the government must support this industry and not kill it just because there are few people. You cannot tarnish the image of the entire industry.
Right.
This industry brings international name and recognition also, apart from the political people. I was really embarrassed and ashamed that yesterday one of our members in the Lok Sabha spoke, who is from the industry, against, I'm not taking a name, against the film industry. It's a shame. जिस थाली में खाते हैं, उसमें छेद करते हैं. गलत बात है. I need the protection. The industry needs the protection and support of the government.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jay. Please. Sri Sambhaji Chhatrapati, एसोसिएट करना चाहते, कृपया अपना नाम स्लिप भेज दीजिए. श्री संभाजी छत्रपति.
संभाजी छत्रपति from Lok Sabha chamber, sir.
Please, Sambhaji Chhatrapati.
Sambhaji Chhatrapati from the Lok Sabha chamber.
Lok Sabha chamber. Sambhaji Chhatrapati.
Yeah. With your consent and permission, sir, I am speaking in Marathi.
Yeah.
आदरणीय अध्यक्ष महोदय, आज मी एक महत्त्वपूर्ण विषयावर सभागृहाचे लक्ष वेधू इच्छितो. मराठा आरक्षणाविषयी सर्वोच्च न्यायालयात सुरू असलेल्या याचिकेवर न्यायालयाने निर्णय देताना मराठा समाजाच्या आरक्षणाला स्थगिती देत हा खटला 5 न्यायाधीशांच्या घटनापीठापुढे हस्तांतरित केला आहे. या निर्णयामुळे मराठा समाज प्रचंड मोठ्या प्रमाणात नुकसान झाले. गतवर्षी मिळालेल्या आरक्षणाच्या आधारे विविध ठिकाणी समाजातील अनेकांच्या नियुक्त्या, शैक्षणिक प्रवेश मिळाले होते. या सर्व प्रश्नचिन्ह निर्माण झाले असून त्यांचे भविष्य धोक्यात आले. छत्रपती शिवाजी महाराजांनी सर्व जाती धर्माच्या लोकांना एकत्र करून अन्यायाविरुद्ध लढा उभारला. भूमिपुत्रांनी न्याय मिळवून देण्यासाठी स्वराज्य निर्माण केले. शिवछत्रपतींचे वंशज राजर्षी छत्रपती शाहू महाराजांनी आपल्या राज्यात मागासलेल्या बहुजन समाजासाठी 50% आरक्षण देण्याचा ऐतिहासिक निर्णय घेतला होता. यामध्ये मराठा समाजाचा सुद्धा समावेश होता. हे अतिशय महत्त्वाचे आहे. पुढे डॉक्टर बाबासाहेब आंबेडकर यांनी राजर्षी शाहू महाराजांच्या आरक्षणाची संकल्पना संविधानात आणली. डॉक्टर बाबासाहेब आंबेडकरांनी सुद्धा मराठा समाजाला आरक्षणाचा लाभ मिळावा अशी भूमिका ठेवली होती. कारण बहुतांश मराठा समाज सामाजिक व आर्थिक दृष्ट्या मागासलेला होता. आज ही मराठा समाजाची परिस्थिती काही बदल झालेली नाहीये. किंबहुना आरक्षणाची अभाव अधिकच बिघडलेली आहे. जस्ट अ मिनिट सर. मराठा समाजाचं आरक्षण फार मोठ्या त्यागातून व संघर्षातून मिळालेलं आहे. याविषयी ज्या काही अभ्यास समित्या नेमल्या होत्या त्या सर्वच अभिप्राय मराठा समाजाला आरक्षणाची गरज आहे हे सांगणारे होते. तरी मराठा समाजाला सर्वार्थाने आरक्षण हे दुर्दैव म्हणाले. जस्ट वन लाईन. तामिळनाडू सरकारने 50% आरक्षणाची मर्यादा ओलांडून 69% केली आहे. गेले 26 वर्ष हा कायदा तिथे अंमलात आहे. या धर्तीवर महाराष्ट्रात सुद्धा आरक्षणाचा कायदा करावा, मराठा समाजाला न्याय मिळवून द्यावा ही विनंती करू इच्छितो. धन्यवाद.
श्री राजीव सातव.
राज्यसभा गैलरी.
हाँ प्लीज.
थैंक यू स्पीकर साहब. सर, जो बात पूरे महाराष्ट्र में भी चर्चा की है, जिसमें मराठा समाज को बड़े संघर्ष के बाद आरक्षण मिला था और जो सर्वोच्च न्यायालय का अभी का जो डिसीजन आया है उसमें ये आरक्षण खतरे में आया है, ऐसी सबके सामने स्थिति है. और इसीलिए आने वाले समय में सर्वोच्च न्यायालय के लार्जर बेंच की तरफ ये मामला हियरिंग के लिए है. और जो सर अभी सुप्रीम कोर्ट में हियरिंग हुई थी उसमें केंद्र सरकार ने अपनी बात नहीं रखी थी. तो मेरा केंद्र सरकार से आग्रह है कि आने वाली लार्जर बेंच की हियरिंग में राज्य सरकार के साथ केंद्र सरकार भी मराठा आरक्षण के पक्ष में बात करे ताकि मराठा आरक्षण कायम रहे. थैंक यू सर.
राजीव जी, प्लीज टेक नोट. यू हैव ऑलरेडी कम टू राज्यसभा and then you are in the upper gallery. You are still remembering the speaker. Say chairman here afterwards. Okay. Sri Sarad Pawarji and others to associate. Okay. Then Sri Ripun Bora. Ripun.
Sir,
Ripun Bora.
Sir, Ripun Bora from.
Please, others should not speak. Ripun Bora, which gallery?
Sir, Ripun Bora from Rajya Sabha Gallery, unit number 5.
5, please.
5. Sir, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to raise a very important issue pertaining to the economy of the Assam. Sir, there are two public sector undertaking paper mill. One is Nagaon, the other is Panchgram. And this is the only two public sector undertaking earning profit in Assam. But sir, suddenly what happened from 2014, both the paper mill is going to facing loss, and ultimately from 2016, it is being closed down. So sir, from 2016 to till date, the state government as well as the central government, time without number, has been giving assurances to give special package for revival of this two paper mill. But nothing has been done till today. Sir, you will be surprised to know, sir, meanwhile, the employees have not been getting a salary for 4 years, and 70 workers have died so far for want of salary and medicine, and 3 employees have committed suicide. Sir, apart from that, there are 2 lakhs employees who are directly and indirectly engaged with this paper mill, but all now their future has been finished. On the other hand, sir, the bamboo cultivation, the bamboo farmers and the bamboo cultivation which are dependent on these two paper mills has also been finished. So now, sir, due to this outbreak of COVID-19, sir, thousands and thousands young boys have come outside of Assam. They have lost their jobs. So if this paper mill are revived, so my request to the government to revive the paper mill immediately as per the assurance of the government, so that the economy can be restored. Thank you.
Thank you, Ripun. Associate Professor Ram Gopal Yadav.
मैं राम गोपाल यादव राज्यसभा चैम्बर से। श्रीमान, आपने अनुमति दी इसके लिए मैं आपका आभारी हूं, और ये उम्मीद करता हूं कि आपकी कृपा इसी तरह से बनी रहेगी। श्रीमान, बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण मसला है, मैं बहुत कम समय में कहूँगा। लॉकडाउन के कारण देश में छोटे बड़े कारखाने के बंद होने से, कारोबारियों का कारोबार बंद होने से करोड़ों लोग बेरोजगार हो गए, उनके परिवार बिखर गए। बच्चों की पढ़ाई लिखाई तो दूर, उन्हें भूखे पेट सोने के लिए कभी कभी विवश होना पड़ रहा है। पढ़े लिखे लोगों के लिए, जिनके लिए गवर्नमेंट ने व्यवस्था की है, 5 साल के लिए कॉन्ट्रैक्ट पर रखे जा रहे हैं, 5 साल बाद समीक्षा की जाएगी। वे भी असमंजस में हैं कि रहेंगे कि नहीं रहेंगे। नतीजा ये है कि लोगों में अवसाद बढ़ रहा है, निराशा बढ़ रही है, मानसिक तनाव बढ़ रहा है, और हताशा की स्थिति में जी रहे हैं बड़े पैमाने पे लोग। और नतीजा ये है कि वो आत्महत्या की तरफ बढ़ रहे हैं। मैं उदाहरण देना चाहता हूं कि इन 4-5 महीनों में कोविड की वजह से अकेले नोएडा में 44 लोगों की मृत्यु हुई है, लेकिन आत्महत्या की है 165 लोगों ने कल तक। ये स्थिति है। इसलिए मैं गवर्नमेंट से आपके माध्यम से अनुरोध करना चाहता हूं कि जो लोग लॉकडाउन की वजह से नौकरियों से, मजदूरी से अलग हो गए हैं, उनको प्रति माह कम से कम 50 और 15,000 रुपया भत्ता के रूप में दिया जाए, ताकि वो कम से कम भूखों न मरें और वो जिंदा बने रह सकें। लोकतंत्र में हर गवर्नमेंट ये कर रही है, पश्चिम से लेके पूरब तक। हमें भी ये करना चाहिए। माननीय वित्त मंत्री जी यहाँ बैठी हुई हैं, मैं चाहूंगा कि इस पर सहानुभूति पूर्वक विचार करें, और देश में जो आत्महत्याएं बढ़ रही है रोजाना, उनको रोकने के लिए एक सार्थक कदम उठाएं।
ठीक, धन्यवाद जी। श्री आनंद एसोसिएट, स्लिप भेजना सब लोग। आनंद शर्मा जी।
Anand Sharma from Rajya Sabha Chamber. So I wish to draw your attention of this House and the government to the alarming increase in number of suicides and mental health cases in India. Across the world, about 8 lakh suicides happen annually, out of which 1.39 lakh happen in India. This means that India accounts for 15% of the total suicides of the world. Also, there is a suicide happening in every 3.5 minutes in India, which is very disturbing. During the year 2019, there has been a 4% increase in the number of suicides in our country. Reports indicate that 1 in 7 person in India is suffering from depression. Number of persons affected by the mental health issues has exponentially increased after the COVID crisis and lockdown, especially the students and the children who are committing suicides across the country. This is because many children do not have access to online studies, non-availability of midday meals, and the fear of getting affected by corona. The first and foremost reason for India's battle against mental health issues not being effective is the lack of awareness and sensitivity about the mental health matters. There is also stigma attached to the people suffering from any kind of mental disorder and illness. Mental health situation in India demands active policy interventions and resource allocations by the government and persistent nationwide effort to educate and sensitize the society about mental diseases. Mental illness must mandatorily be put under the ambit of life insurance. This will help people to see mental illness with the same lens as they use for physical diseases. Central government, in association with state governments, need to evolve innovative modes to deepen the penetration of services and establish helplines and counseling centers to effectively deal with the mental health issues.
Thank you. Associate, please send us slips. Special mentions. K.C. Ramamurthy. From the Rajya Sabha gallery, number 1. Sankshipt, you have to read, just.
Sir, running is considered to be a game of skill. In reality, it is gambling and betting money through rummy with the greed of getting more so. The online rummy, which is rapidly spreading its tentacles by luring all sections, more particularly the youth, with attractive advertisements and promotions, assuring lucrative returns, which are totally false. Looking at these advertisements, youngsters, after losing money, are resorting to criminal and other activities to carry on with this addiction. This is creating wrong impression and worry among the parents about the future of the loved ones, sir. Sir, it seems that there are 4 online accredited rummy operators, AS3, Jingle Rummy, Rummy Circle, Rummy Passion, accredited by the Rummy Federation. And according to the KPMG report, the online real money gaming industry is estimated at 2,200 crores and is growing at 30% annually and will touch 12,000 crores by 2023. So in view of the above, I request the Government of India to immediately declare online rummy as illegal and ban the same forthwith. And we see that famous celebrities, including cricketers like MS Dhoni and film stars, clearly, propagate this. And this is a bad precedent, and it's going to have adverse effect on the society.
Thank you. Thank you. Online rummy, तो मिनिस्टर स्टेट गवर्नमेंट का सब्जेक्ट होगा, बट फिर भी लॉ मिनिस्टर उसको देखे. श्री अनिल देसाई कहाँ? लोकसभा अनिल जी, श्री अनिल देसाई, not there. Sri Dr. Santanu Sen. Yes, please.
Sir, the term social distancing should not be used anymore, as we know that in order to avoid corona transmission, the term social distancing is being regularly used and it is being advised to maintain social distancing. Actually, it's a physical distance of nearly 6 feet between 2 persons which is needed. But on the contrary, use of the term social distance has indirectly promoted social stigma, which has led to nearly an attitude of boycotting COVID patients socially and as its consequences, COVID patients and their family members are facing several inhuman situations. Sometimes social distancing creates differences considering socio-economic, religious and political perspectives. So to stop this social discrimination and social stigma, the term social distancing should not be utilized anymore to fight COVID, and instead of that physical distancing should be used.
Right. So the special mention में the heading should be read and then lay it on the table because lot of people are there. ये जो सुझाव दिया ना डॉक्टर संतोष ने, ये महत्वपूर्ण सुझाव है और एसोसिएट ना सिर्फ भेज दीजिए। मेरा कहना है इसको सुरक्षित दूरी, रामगोपाल जी बता पाएंगे, सुरक्षित दूरी, सेफ डिस्टेंस, दैट विल बी बेटर। पारस्परिक दूरी का अर्थ दोबारा होगा, घर में झगड़ा होगा, ये उससे ठीक है। Yes, social distancing should be replaced by an appropriate word. बैठ के मत बोलिए please. Yeah. We have to, society as a whole has to evolve some broad this thing, and government should take lead. I do agree. Then Sri Prasanna Acharya, sir, main बता के ले करना.
Sir.
Subject.
Sir, the subject of my special submission is regarding sickle cell disease, which has posed a serious health hazard in western region of Odisha and adjoining district of eastern Chhattisgarh. I lay my special mention on the table.
Thank you. Sri Tiruchi Siva.
My special mention is addressing the inequalities in access to education for children during the pandemic owing to existing digital divide. Sir, with cases on the rise, schools remain shut, with children now being able to access education solely through digital means. This has resulted in vast disparities in access to education among children. A recently released survey by the NSO for 2017 states with reduced access are little above 50%, and larger states like Tamil Nadu and UP are access only below 20%, sir. This is worsened by the rural-urban divide, with rural areas having even fewer connections.
Right, Siva.
The pandemic crash trap, sir, it was promised by the Honorable Prime Minister that in 1,000 days, the digital divide will be bridged. Education policies earlier have suggested increased spending, with the current policy aiming at 6%.
Right,
Children
please.
who do not have access to internet fall behind by a whole term, giving undue advantage for a
Thank you,
private
Siva.
school
It's a
student.
very important
Sir,
matter. The government should focus its attention on this issue.
Thank you.
Finance Minister is there. She will take note.
Thank you, sir.
Because in the rural area, it's often complained that they don't have adequate facilities yet. Though it's a welcome step. Dr. Sasmit Patra.
Sir, Dr. Sasmit Patra from the Lok Sabha chamber, sir.
Lok Sabha, please.
Lok Sabha chamber, sir. Sir, my special mention is on the topic allotment of land in Delhi for establishment of Odisha Cultural Center and Library. Sir, Honorable Chief Minister of Odisha, Shri Naveen Patnaik ji, in a letter dated 7th December 2019, requested the Honorable Union Minister of Housing and Urban Development to allot a suitable land in Delhi for the purposes of establishment of Odisha Cultural Center and Library. So it's been about 9 months now, sir. We hope the Honorable Minister will respond, and the land that has been requested by the Honorable Chief Minister of Odisha will be provided to Odisha. I lay the special mention on the table of the House. Thank you.
Thank you. Sri P.L. Punia. Punia ji.
P.L. Punia from Rajya Sabha Gallery.
Yes.
अध्यक्ष महोदय, तालाबंदी के दौरान करोड़ों मजदूर अपने गांव लौट गए और उन्हें रोजगार देने के लिए महात्मा गांधी रोजगार योजना ने महत्वपूर्ण योगदान दिया। आज करोड़ों मजदूरों को उनके गांव में ही मजदूरी मिल रही है। जब कोरोना का खतरा खत्म हो जाएगा तो ये करोड़ों मजदूर वापस काम की तलाश में शहरों में लौट जाएंगे। महोदय, आज की स्थिति में कोरोना निरंतर बढ़ रहा है। ये स्थिति कब तक चलेगी कोई अनुमान नहीं लगाया जा सकता। इसलिए आवश्यक है कि गांव में मनरेगा के माध्यम से और अधिक रोजगार की व्यवस्था की जाए। महोदय, हर राज्य में मजदूरों के 100 दिन लगभग पूरे हो गए हैं, अब इन मजदूरों को काम नहीं दिया जा रहा।
राइट पुनिया जी, यू टू रीड।
ये फिर रोजगार
सभा पटल के ऊपर रखना।
आई एम रीडिंग इट। और वे फिर बेरोजगार हैं। ऐसी स्थिति में सरकार को तुरंत कोई रास्ता निकालना चाहिए। इसके लिए मनरेगा में कुछ बदलाव की आवश्यकता है। मेरा अनुरोध है कि दैनिक मजदूरी बढ़ाकर न्यूनतम 300 रुपए किया जाए। परिवार में एक व्यक्ति की जगह 2 व्यक्तियों को।
राइट पुनिया जी। नेक्स्ट श्री अनिल देसाई
और रोजगार
लोकसभा चैम्बर।
या अनिल
देसाई ने मैसेज भेजा, वो आ गए।
Yes, yes, sir.
Please, Anil Desai.
Yeah, my subject of special mention is exorbitant hike in platform tickets. Ours is a welfare state, and it is expected that government policies should always be for the welfare of the common people. Government adopting the route of privatization of number of services which are directly affecting common people. Recently, with a view to curtailing the crowd at the railway stations, across the country, the Railway Board has increased the fare of platform tickets from 10 to rupees 50%. It is quite exorbitant and not justified. Entry at the platform should always be need-based. If a passenger is old, infirm,
right, Anilji, the need to reduce the rate of platform tickets. That is the subject, yes, right?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I don't want any of you to be on the platform. So next to business, we are going to the business. Dr. Ashwardhan ji वहाँ है लोकसभा में?
Yes, sir.
हाँ Ashwardhan ji?
Yes, sir. I am here in लोकसभा.
तो मिनिस्टर एक ही दिन में एक ही सेशन में राज्यसभा चैम्बर में भी है, लोकसभा में चैम्बर है, चैम्बर में भी। Dr. Harshvardhan ji, please.
Yes, sir. Respected sir.
Yeah, please. Go ahead.
Respected sir, I rise to move for leave to withdraw the Allied and Healthcare Professions Bill 2018.
Right. The question is that the leave be granted to withdraw the bill. Those in favor will please raise their hands and say aye. Those against will please raise their hands and say no. I think the ayes have it, the ayes have it, the ayes have it. The motion is adopted and the bill is withdrawn by the leave of the House. Next, Srimati Nirmala Sitharaman ji, Insolvency Bankruptcy Code Second Amendment Bill. To introduce,
Sir, I'm Nirmala Sitharaman from the Rajya Sabha Chambers. I seek your permission, sir, to move for leave to introduce a bill further to amend the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code 2016.
Ma, इसमें लिखा है 2020.
Sorry, sir, it's 2020.
20, right.
Sorry, I stand corrected.
Right. The question is that the leave be granted to introduce the bill. Those in favor, please raise their hands and say aye. Those against will please raise their hands and say no. I think the ayes have it, the ayes have it, the ayes have it. Srimati Nirmala Sitharaman ji to introduce the bill.
So I introduce the bill.
Right. Then the bill for introduction, National Commission for Allied Healthcare Professional Bill. Dr. Harshvardhan from Lok Sabha Chamber.
Respected sir, I rise to move for leave to introduce the National Commission for Allied and Healthcare Professions Bill 2020.
Question is that the leave be granted to introduce the bill. Those in favor please raise their hands and say aye.
Aye.
Those against will please raise their hands and say no. I think the ayes have it, the ayes have it, the ayes have it. The Minister to introduce the bill.
Sir, I introduce the bill.
Thank you. Then the Aircraft Amendment Bill 2020 further consideration. Yesterday the only minister rose to introduce ask for the permission of the House to consider the bill. Discussion was not taken place. So minister will make a brief comment and then we'll go to the members. Please.
Thank you, sir. Hardik Puri speaking from the Rajya Sabha Chamber.
Please.
Sir, civil aviation has been a critical driver of economic growth in India. We have recorded exceptional growth in the last 5 years. The compound annual growth rate in terms of passenger throughput in the 5-year period between 2008-9 and 2013-14 was 9%. This has increased to 12.4% between 2014-15 and 2019 and 20. Cargo throughput has increased to double-digit growth of 10% during this period.
Please.
In 2019 and 2020 alone, our airports handled a staggering number of 341 million passengers. This, sir, has made India the third largest civil aviation market domestically, and we are in the process of becoming the third largest market for civil aviation globally after the United States and China by 2022 in terms of both domestic as well as international passengers. Even during this dreaded COVID period, sir, we have revived domestic civil aviation, which commenced on 25th May this year, as against the pre-COVID figure of 300,000 passengers per day pre-COVID. We have almost reached the 50% mark, and it is my submission to this House, sir, that by the time we reach Diwali and towards the end of the year, we would have, at the current rate of growth, acquired pre-COVID figures of 300,000 passengers per day. Sir, as of 31st August 2020, we have about 711 civil registered scheduled aircraft, of which 661 passenger aircraft are operational. This figure is likely to go up to about 1,200 in the next 5 years. The number of operational airports has risen from 70 odd in 2014 and has crossed the 100 mark, and today we have 109 operational airports in the country. Sir, we have to date operationalized 279 UDAN routes covering 50 underserved and unserved airports, including 5 helipads. The UDAN scheme has greatly helped in developing airport infrastructure. We have an ambitious target of developing and operationalizing 100 additional airports in the next 5 years by the year 2024, bringing the total to 200. We have taken several measures to help the beleaguered civil aviation sector, which is under strain. These include an impetus to Indian MROs, including end-of-lease maintenance, engine and component OEMs, rationalizing of airspace, and a number of other factors. This tremendous growth in itself has thrown up many challenges, such as saturated airport capacity, lack of trained manpower, limited manufacturing capabilities. But these, I believe, sir, are happy challenges. Sir, under the existing setup, the central government administers various aspects of civil aviation under the Aircraft Act of 1934 through the attached offices of the Directorate General of Civil Aviation, DGCA, the Bureau of Civil Aviation Security, BCAS, and the Aircraft Accident Investigation Bureau. These attached offices of DGCA, BCAS, and AAIB have been constituted under executive powers of the government, and their administrative duties and day-to-day functioning are governed by the government rules. Sir, during audits carried out by the International Civil Aviation Organization, ICAO, starting in the year before and around 2012, the audit pointed out that the Universal Safety Oversight Audit Program and Universal Security Audit Program in 2012 and 2015 indicated the need to give statutory recognition to these 3 agencies. And sir, this is what this bill passed by the Lok Sabha on 17th March 2020 proposes to do. I will now, sir, just in a nutshell, outline to the honourable members the changes that are proposed to be introduced. It is proposed to insert...
Very brief.
Very briefly, sir. It is proposed to insert new definitions defining the 3 regulatory bodies as outlined, DGCA, BCAS, and the Aircraft Accident Investigation Bureau. they will be provided statutory recognition to these three bodies. We propose to insert new sections 4A, B, C, D in place of 4A to give precise effect to this, and to give under section 5 of the Act power of superintendence to the government over these bodies. I will confine myself to these comments and also point out that the provisions also include raising some of the amounts. For instance, the existing penalties for violation under the Act were considered not adequate, and there has been a need felt to revise these. It is proposed to increase the existing penalties from up to rupees 10 lakhs to 1 crore. The last revision of the amount of penalty was in the year 2007 from 1 and 2,000 to 10 lakhs. No changes proposed in terms of imprisonment, which is up to 2 years in most cases and 3 years in one case for such violation. It is proposed to provide that the central government may appoint a designated officer at Deputy Secretary level for judging financial penalties. Under this section, the proposed insertions will suitably provide for an opportunity to be heard. I would, sir, confine myself to these comments. And as I said, Honourable Sir, that Chairman, that the operative thrust of the bill is to provide a statutory basis to these three important agencies which govern the conduct of civil aviation, and this is necessary as we move forward with an exponential growth in civil aviation. I thank you, sir.
Thank you. The House will be happy to know that after discussing with the External Affairs Minister Jaishankar ji, if you can throw some light later about the resumption of the international flight zones. Now discussion will start and then it will be over by 12 o'clock, including the minister's reply, and then we'll be going to the other subject which was left out yesterday about COVID. Now, Sri K.C. Venugopal ji has come from Lok Sabha to Rajya Sabha. Venugopal ji, your party has got 20 minutes. You have one more speaker, Vivek Tanka. You decide among yourselves, please.
Thank you, Chairman. I'm K.C. Venugopal, speaking from Rajya Sabha chamber. Thank you giving me for an opportunity to participate in this piece of legislation. Actually, Honorable Minister has really pointed out the features of this bill. One of the main objectives of the bill is to ensure safety and security of the passengers and the aerodromes. The audit conducted by ICAO had earlier pointed out the need of amending the rate of punishment to the violation and security oversight in India. By this act, actually the three organizations, the Director General of Civil Aviation, Bureau of Civil Aviation Security, and the Aircraft Accident Investigation Bureau will be headed by a Director General who will be appointed by the central government. The bill also gives power to the central government for cancelling the licenses, certificates or approvals granted to a person under the Act if the person contravenes any provision of the Act. The concern of this bill is actually there are a lot of safety concerns in the country nowadays. The main purpose of the bill is to enhance the safety and security of the aviation sector. As we know, India is the third largest civil aviation market in the world. There are greater concerns of the issues of safety measures. An RTA has revealed that in 2018 only, there was a 68% rise in near-miss incidents in the country compared to 2017. 47 near-miss incidents took place in 2018. The shortage of the air traffic control officers is another serious concern. According to a recent report, there is currently a shortage of 25% officers in Delhi alone. This has led to higher number of near-misses incidents. As we all know, I thought that Honorable Minister will point out the tragic incident which took place in Calicut on August 7th. Air India Express flight has been crashed and our valuable 18 lives has been lost due to that accident. Actually, the 40 days already over. During the landing, the aircraft skipped from the runway and fell into the valley. It was only because of luck the aircraft didn't catch fire. The people are concerned about the actual reason behind the incident. Different causes are pointed out for this unfortunate incident. There is no clarity on what is the real cause behind this unfortunate incident. There is an investigation is going on, I know that. Whether the adverse climate, technical faults of the aircraft, or the mistake from the pilot, or the miscommunication, or any deficiency of the airport. Therefore, I would request the Minister to have a statement on these things. In addition to this, one more thing is needed to be clarified. Calicut Airport is a tabletop airport. Whether the deficiency of the runway is also a reason. Now the DGSA has stopped permission to the wider aircraft to the Calicut Airport. Earlier there was such restriction for wider aircraft. After a lot of inspection and rectification, the DGSA have given permission to the wider aircraft. If the current ban is based on any conclusion, the government has to clarify how the permission for wider crafts granted earlier. This is a real concern of the people of that area. And then one more thing, government has announced the compensation to the victim. I would like to know the real status of the compensation which was announced by the government, that also. Then I would like to invite this August House to a real issue of privatization of the airport. Honorable Chairman, recently the government has decided to award airport to the private parties in the name of development of airport infrastructure development. The government is selling of the airport, Adani. There is an international attempt from the government to nepotism, help their crony capitalist friends. The government is paving red carpets for monopolization of airports in the country. Till now, Adani Group won bids to operate and manage development of 6 airports: Ahmedabad, Lucknow, Mangalore, Jaipur, Guwahati and Thiruvananthapuram. The Adani Group is all set to acquire 4% stake in Mumbai International Airport also. That is what the media report is coming. I would like to point out that there is a clear violation of norms and regulations in giving airports to a single private entity. This clear scam of public money, in this process, the government has violated